Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Suzerain, a safe space in which we awesome. We are, of course, enjoying ourselves for whole sword. Now, last episode is quite eventful. We learned quite a bit. And unfortunately, our dear, good, best friend, Peter Vectorn, he is no longer our VP. We just made VP, the Speaker of the House was her name. I want to say Victoria, but I believe that's wrong. Anyway, we'll find out momentarily. Lucian and I were on our way to my office. I was holding a mug of coffee in one hand and a folder of various documents in the other. As he turned a corner, Lucian spoke. The Arch-Raf anniversary is coming up soon, the most important day for the bloodish populace. Watani Ashraf is one of their symbols, as you know. Your presence at this event would show your desire for a more unified Sordland. We will reap the benefits if you decide to go, I'm sure. I don't want to cause further division among swords because of this. You are right. Lucian nodded. We ran another corner to reach the last corridor leading to my office. Lucian suddenly stopped in front of one of the doors, the plaque that said Vice President Peter Vectorn had been removed. The door was halfway open and I could see a few workers moving boxes around the room. Gloria, that was her name. One of them saw us, bowed his head, and changed the name tag on the door to say Vice President Gloria Tori. I heard Gloria's voice from behind him. Be careful with that box. She noticed us and immediately made her way to us. Mr. President, Mr. Glade. How is it going? Are you settled in yet? I want you ready to work as soon as possible. How is it going? Are you settled in yet? Getting there, Mr. President. That reminds me. Mr. Glade, could you talk to the staff secretary for me to get the furniture sorted here? I have a few more boxes coming in. Oh, God, that one is hard. Lucian's upper lip curled. He and Gloria stared each other down for a moment. Lucian, my dude, you're good in your job. I'm not your servant, Miss Tori. Oh, he's fighting it. It was just a simple request, Mr. Glade. I don't know what's with you, but I don't like your attitude. Lucian, do as your vice president says. That's the job of an office secretary, Miss Tori, not of chief strategist. Anyway, an office secretary, yes. I know, as I said, it was just a simple request. I do not understand why it's becoming such a big deal. Very well, I will do it. I will see you later, Mr. President and Ms. Vice President. I'll present you with our options on the Traf meeting matter later. He walked out, leaving me alone with Gloria. Well then, I must get back to work. Thank you for visiting, Mr. President. I will stop by as soon as this is all done. I'm expecting good work from you. Do not disappoint me. Glad to have you here, Gloria. I want you to try to get along with Lucian. I will do my best. Gloria nodded at me and went into her room. I entered my office and asked Sylvia for a second cup of coffee to wake me up. Another long day was waiting for me. It was gonna be a thing. Political overview. Yep, legislative. As Speaker of the Grand National Assembly. Oh, that's a shame. Franz Richter, Sarah Kibbener. Yeah. Okay, what's going on in the Codex? Organizations. Governmental. Grand National Assembly. The Grand National Assembly of Sordland, usually referred to simply as the Assembly, is the unicameral Sordish legislature. It is the sole body given the legislative prerogatives by the Sordish Constitution. It was founded in Whole Sword on I'm not sure I care anyway. It is currently led by Speaker of the Assembly Albin Claven. Claven? Oh, Clatus. Alright, the Whole Sword Post. Gloria takes Tori rises to the death. Following the unseen departure of Peter Vectorn, President Rayne has picked Gloria Tori as his new vice president. Miss Tory is a well-known figure among the USP members, and she is the current leader of the conservative wing of the party. She served as Speaker of the Grand National Assembly for many years and brings a positive track record to the table. Miss Tory will begin serving her post immediately in the administration. Gloria Tory is the vice president. It is official. Gloria Tory is the new vice president of Sordland. Out of all the candidates, we were amazed that she was the final pick of President Rayne. She certainly has experience, but the dynamic in between them leaves much to be desired as the two leading figures of our country. Regardless, we can say with certainty that Miss Tory will be better vice president than Peter Vector. I mean, I don't know about that, but also chill. Mediation of a dispute in Gandermary. Okay. I arrived in the city of Vesord with my new vice president, Gloria, after receiving an emergency meeting request from Losef and Lilias. I had seen the reports from a recent issue that rose between the Sordish police force and the Gerrymander units at the city. The report said that an operation against a drug trafficking gang in Vesord failed due to a miscommunication. It was not hard to guess what this meeting was going to be about. As we entered the city hall and made our way to the second floor, I could hear Losef and Lilias' voices echoing through the hall. Opened the doors to the meeting room. The two ministers did not even realize. This is unacceptable! How dare the police meddle in the affairs of the Gerrymander? It was your men who started this ridiculousness and meddled with an ongoing police investigation. The voices were getting louder and louder. Rural security is my jurisdiction, and my men were way out, and your men were outside of Vesord. Ministers, please stop your bickering in front of Mr. President. We will get nowhere if you continue with this behavior. Mr. President, Ms. Vice President. Apologies, but Miss Graff here fails to understand her place. No, Mr. Lancia, you're the one who does not understand his place. Continue to do so, you will pay for it one day. Same to Taylor. That's enough. Calm down, both of you. Don't worry, we'll solve this conflict of interest. Yeah, Gloria. The thing about dealing with the people in the cabinet is that there is no one surefire way. You got to make sure everyone's happy, or they aren't happy. And oh God, do you not want them to be not happy? Don't worry, we'll solve this conflict of interest. This issue has been in the back of my head for a long time, and now it caused real damage. Indeed it has, all because of the exemplary behavior of your police. Lilias explained what happened. Mr. Grazer was tasked with the investigation of a drug trafficking ring in downtown Vesord. We found the evidence of a drug stash located in the outskirts of the city. We had to act quickly to put an end to the criminals we have been watching for some time. So we immediately sent our police units to catch them and find the drugs in the compound. Mr. Lancia and the Gerrymander did not notify us that they were also moving against the same target. As a result, criminals got away and we lost months of progress. You sent out your jurisdiction to pursue these criminals. You went out of your jurisdiction to pursue these criminals. Meddled and caused the raid to fail. Isn't there a line of communication between you? There is, but the Minister of Defense decided to avoid notifying the police department about the planned raid. The same could be said about you before, because the reports show that you knew about the gang and their stash in the countryside. I started tapping my fingers on the table with my fingers. How do we solve this issue so that it never happens again? What I hear is that you're both incompetent. We're getting nowhere. We need to find a middle ground. How do we solve this issue so that it never happens again? I should have gone with the middle ground one, but this is what I'm sticking with. Sticking with my guns on this. I think this was the last drop. Internal security matters should be handled by the Ministry of Interior completely. We are called the Ministry of Interior for a reason. We can't let any more screw-ups like this happen again. She looked at me. I want the Gerrymander to be transferred to the military interior. What? Woman, are you out of your mind? Losef turned red in anger. He composed himself after a moment. I have to agree with Miss Graff. If we unify the command, our internal security will improve. There's no question to that. Look, Miss Tori, I know you are new at this, and there is much that you were not briefed about, but... I don't have to be briefed to see common sense, Mr. Lancia. I would also like to remind you that it is Miss Vice President to you. Ooh, calm down, Gloria. Ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I won't hand over Gary Mander to her. Out of the question. Wait, hang on. Transferred to the ministry. Oh, I misread the situation. Why? Because it makes sense. I agree that Gary Mander is part of the Ministry of Defense for years. Do you have a better solution, Losef? When our operations overlap, we should engage at a lower rank with the lower local officers on both sides. We could work on establishing that, but it still doesn't change the wrong system that exists now. Oh wait, no, wrong voice. I want to remind you about your promise, Mr. President. That was before this screw-up. I remember it very well, don't you worry. I don't remember it. Yes, but my decision hasn't been made yet. What promise? I don't remember any promises I made. Ooh, that would be lying. That was before this screw-up. That is not how promises work, Mr. President. What promise? Now I see what is going on here. Nothing's going on. Enlighten us. What is going on here, Losef? Olia set us up to create this incident. Olia's bit her lips. That is going too far. What proof do you have? There's no way that the police has arrived at the right time of a month-long search on the exact day and minute of the gerrymander raid. You may be right. This is conspiracy theory territory. Let us take it down a notch with the accusations. This is kind of an accusation is unheard of. It's nonsense. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a word Mr. Lancia says, Mr. President. Heard my word, Mr. President. When dealing with these situations, you need to always look at who gets what out of it. I won't stand idle by these utterly ridiculous and baseless accusations. I don't have time for this. What is your decision? Transfer the Ministry of Interior. There will be no change related to the gerrymander. Well, I mean, there can't be no change. And also, we kind of have a fucking Rumberg on our asses about shit like this. What to do? Apparently I made some sort of promise to Lilias about something, and I don't remember it because it was probably about 12 episodes ago. I vaguely recall talking to her about a promise related to this, but I don't remember what I said, who said what when, or anything other than the fact that we were in Lockhaven at the time, or possibly Estor. Maybe Linker. This general area here. Must have been Lockhaven, because I remember... Anyway. Transfer to the Ministry of Interior. There'll be no change related. What to do? What to do about the situation? What to do about it? What to do about this situation? What to do about it? And also, promises can change. Pray don't alter it further. I don't like this, but I also don't like that, and I don't like any of this, really. Sorry, Lilias. Really am. You are making a mistake. Disappointing. Here I thought Anton Rayne was a man of his word. Thank you for protecting the structure and authority of the Ministry of Defense. I want those criminals to be caught immediately. From now on, work together and don't fight among each other. I want capable and effective members of the cabinet. There are bigger issues at hand that need attention. Focus on them instead of each other. From now on, work together and don't fight among each other. I want capable and effective ministers of... There's bigger issues at hand. Stop your fucking squabbling, teenagers. We will do our best, right, Mr. Lancia? Well, that's right, Miss Graff. I left the room to attend to my next scheduled meeting. Oh, no words from Gloria? I thought she would say stuff. Alright. Long turn. Resolve the dispute of the gerrymander. I sided with the Ministry of Defense and had to keep control. And had them keep control. Read the report from Benfey. League of Women extend thanks. Swords League of Women has thanked us for the personal donation. The spokesperson said, President Rayne, thank you for your contribution to our cause and to the First Lady Monica, who puts our agenda forward to begin with. Briefing on the current healthcare situation. Oh, good. More money to spend. I had a meeting scheduled with Pascal to receive the annual healthcare report. Excuse me. He arrived at my house with a stack of papers underneath both arms. Oh, fuck. How do I do his voice? Hang on. I always fuck it up because it's like a similar place for fucking Losef's voice. Mr. President. There it is. He put the mountain of papers on my desk and made a loud thud sound. I know this seems like a lot. Reviewing it shouldn't take more than a day. He measured the pile again. Or maybe 2. It sounds just great. Well, yeah, maybe. Very well. Thanks for bringing these in. No problem at all. They contain very important information about the status of our healthcare. Salary, spending, hospital reports, whatever you like. We can go through this together. Can't you just summarize? Alright, let's begin. He continued. But I don't want to bore you, so I will quickly summarize. I sighed a breath of relief as he put his reading glasses to look at the document he was holding. So, we have concluded our report for the year. Thanks to the allocated funds, we have improved the healthcare of the country overall. I've used the resources to begin a comprehensive health reform. We have more patients treated, less waiting times, and higher treatment quality than the years before. That is great to hear. Thank you for your hard work, Pascal. Just as I expected, it was a good decision to spend the budget on healthcare. Good. Under my presidency, I want Sordland people to have the best health service they can get. There can't be any more valiant aim. Can't be a more valiant aim. The foundations we laid so far will influence the years to come. We are certainly on the right path to challenge even Lesbia or Vogsland in the matter, but we are not there yet. However, give it a few more years and we might even surpass them. We need to get the level of superpowers. We can't simply follow the footsteps of other nations. Oh, Pascal, we will. We can't simply follow the footsteps of other nations. I agree. We need to pave our own path to a better healthcare for our citizens. Moving on. Our privatization efforts have both positive and negative effects. It helped us raise further funds that we spent on improving the system. Privatized hospitals opened in many places with top-notch equipment. But on the other hand, privatized hospitals are rather expensive even for an ordinary middle-class citizen. We should be able to serve all our citizens without distinction. These are the expected growing pains of our healthcare system. There are still public hospitals for the lower-class citizens. True, but there is still some disparity in the terms of quality. Skim the rest of the document before putting it down. The increase in salaries to all health workers was received very well. The act was the first of its kind along with the salary incentives in rural areas that reflected in more applications to areas that lacked health staff. Our doctors, nurses, and other health workers deserve better. High morale and happiness result in better service. It won't be worth the losses in capital. It better be worth losses. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not an asshole. Not an asshole. High morale and happiness will result in better service. Our doctors, nurses deserved better. The ministry has been ecstatic about the changes. The departments have been singing your praises. Clear to throat. And now that I have given you the short summary, it is a very important matter to discuss. Leaning over to grab his briefcase, he pulled out a tan-colored package. Letters that read confidential. Pascal opened the package and brought out a few documents. He handed them over to me. Man, I'm gonna take a look at it. I took the documents from his hand. It was a report from the Ministry of Health. Each page had a stamp on it that read, "For President's eyes only." Ooh, I'm finally this guy. Finally, the perks of running this country. The photo was titled, "Polio Outbreak in Bergia." This is very concerning. It is, Mr. President. For now, it seems to be under control. We've put a few villages under quarantine. The total number of infected are currently 1,476. Death toll is at 23 so far. If we have any more outbreaks, the results will be terrible. Thankfully, we have received the additional funding to our healthcare. It should curb the infection ratio, although I'm afraid even that might not be enough. It's a very serious matter, Mr. President. The lives of Sordland citizens are at stake. We'll do whatever it takes to eliminate this threat. How bad can it be? Don't worry about it. It will stop. I know it. Fuck off. What can we do about it? No. I will do whatever it takes to eliminate this threat. With that attitude, I have no doubt that we will succeed in that. We've done our research. There is a cure. A vaccination was recently invented in the United Contana by a doctor, and the formula has been made available for free in the entire world. Oh, isn't that fucking convenient? Fucking convenient, ain't it? No matter what people think about United Contana, if the same thing happened in Arcasia, we would be paying the price for it. Thanks to the very good decision made by you to increase the funding to our healthcare, we have capability to produce this vaccine locally. I'm afraid simply having the vaccines won't help. We need to make sure that they are administered. Fucking convenient, isn't it? We need to implement a nationwide mandatory polio vaccine policy. I know about mandatory. With your order, I can immediately get to work to ensure we're doing whatever it takes. This might seem excessive, however. It is absolutely necessary. Whatever it takes to protect Sordland, do it. Let's look at the situation first. We will be fine without it for now. I mean, out of 140 cases, like 23 are dead. That's pretty fucking high. That's a high lethality. And this is polio. Pretty sure polio is bad. And I'm pretty sure in real life, we fucking screamed about it. It was so bad. The world was destroying itself, ripping itself asunder because of this polio thing. And then we dealt with it like, normal civilized adults. And back in the days, we still were those. Still had those. Excellent. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will get to work immediately. I got up from his seat. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. You left my office, leaving me alone with a lot of paperwork to go through. Sure is fucking convenient now, ain't it? Alright, here we go to Hoagland's first private prisons. Rothenberg Group has finished constructing a private prison complex in a rural area just outside of Vesser, comprising maximum and minimum security facilities. The new complex is about the same size as Antal Rock, but promises to house twice as many prisoners thanks to smaller cells and stacked bunk beds. Ooh, alright, well now we're heading in the wrong direction here. Ooh, less smoke bill. Sign the veto. The less smoke bill was approved by the Grand National Assembly. Okay, what is this? Let's see here. The Assembly passed an amendment to the tax bill in 1944 in order to increase government budget. In order to increase tax revenue and reduce the excessive amount of tobacco consumption in the general populace. I mean, it's 1957. Why wouldn't we smoke? Section I of the TB of 44, which had imposed a 10% tax on all tobacco packages, will be increased to 30% on all tobacco products sold in the country. Section 2 will protect local industries by giving them a full tax exemption if the products are destined to export to other countries. God, that just sounds like people are going to bitch and complain about this, but that just sounds like a good thing. Money! Money! Look at that money coming in. Money! Money! Ooh, epidemic prevented. Oh shit, hang on. Ministry of Health has stopped the epidemic from spreading. Our actions have prevented a health crisis in Sordland. And, oh, look at how good our health is. Got so many greens. Tobacco consumption reduced. With the tobacco tax increased nationwide, the consumption and importation of tobacco have dropped significantly. This led to an unexpected decrease in lung-related sickness and birth defects across the country. I mean, cool, but fucking money. Sordland has switched to a completely mandatory vaccination policy in the health system, ensuring every child and adult is vaccinated accordingly. Sure is fucking convenient now, ain't it? Horse Lord Post. Time to smoke less. The administration has signed the Less Smoked Bill aimed at increasing tax income for the government and to reduce high tobacco consumption. Tobacco was recently discovered as dangerous to personal health after researchers in United Montana published an international paper. There have been opposing voices on the increase of the pack of cigarettes, especially foreign ones that are favored by the shortage. Virginia passed an amendment to the tax bill in 1944 by increasing the tax by 20% and imposing a tax exemption on local tobacco products destined for transport. President Rayne has signed the bill into law, which triggered a dozen complaints from working-class citizens who smoke often. Health officials around the country have praised the discouragement of tobacco with the increased taxes. There is a debate if the administration acted on this to increase taxes or to reduce the public health concerns, or maybe both. I'm actually, hilariously, that's relevant. Alright, read the report from Holsor. Desalinization started. The process of desalinization has begun, starting with the removal of Tarkinsol's statue from Capitol Park. By the end of this month, it is expected that hundreds of similar statues, portraits, and other likenesses will be removed from every city and town in Sordland. Excellent. Excellent news. Excellent. Read the report from Enrica. Protests against gender equality in education. Okay. Sordish housewives have turned out in record numbers to protest the presidential decree ordering gender equality in education. Most of the demonstrations appear to be centered in Enrica, with Mayor Curtin Less administration providing the protesters with permits and security staff. Interesting. I mean, protest all you want. We won't stop you. You're free to do so. Go ahead. Support and Shraff anniversary? Question to support and attend the thing. Okay, I'm not going to click anything. The remembrance rally of the Ashraf anniversary is about to begin in Suzerain. The Belush movement is holding their largest rally yet to display their demands and strength. The administration can go to Suzerain to support the event with or without an armored convoy, or not attend at all. I will attend to support and get shot. But that's fine. I will attend to support. Solidarity with Watani Ashraf's University. That's not what that says. After making a stop in Dare to meet with the governor of Bergia, Felix Braun, we finally arrived in the ancient walled city of Suzerain. More than 2 decades ago, the city gained particular importance for the British people due to the Izam incident, which was the reason for our visit. It was the anniversary of the Izam incident and the death of Watani Ashraf. Chaps. What? The event took place in aptly named Izam Square. Kazam. Just several blocks away from the site of the tragic Izam incident, which currently lays under Lake Seoul together with the ruins of the sunken city. We drove in the presidential Cadilla as we entered the city's old paved streets between its rundown buildings. Our convoy could barely fit the narrow streets, disrupting local traffic and creating noisy chaos in this normally tranquil city. Passers-by looked upon us with concern as we drove towards the square. I must say that this was a good decision, sir. This will help ease the tensions. Yes, I am so worried about our safety, but I am still worried about our safety. I hope so. That was my intention all along. As expected. We are almost there. I can hear the crowd. I heard the chants and shouting from the outside. Lucian leaned in closer to the window, listening to their voices. They seemed to be chanting Yolok Bluderat. I believe that means free Bludia in Bludish, or something of that sort. We approached a large crowd that assembled in the square. They were probably at least 10,000 people. Our vehicle came to a stop. My driver exited the vehicle and opened the door for me. We were greeted by Mansoon Leek, whom I have not remembered the voice of. He wore a coat over a suit which was marked with red and turquoise stripes of the Bludish movement's flag. He moved forward to greet us. Welcome to Suzerain, Mr. President. No need for pleasantries. I want this done as quickly as possible. Raise his hand in display of unity. Shake his hand. I'm going to raise his hand. Some within the crowd started clapping. Mr. Lake. Mr. Glade, welcome. Shall we move to the sanctuary then? Let's go. Let's go, gamers! Let's go get to that bread, the gamers. We started making our way into Suzerain Sanctuary, which stood at the end of the square. A much smaller replica of the Arch Sanctuary, and there, this building emanated a mystical aura due to its age and its blackened walls. We entered the building through the ornamented large metal gates. As we walked, the noise of the crowd started to fade out. Everyone started to get quiet for the ceremony. Thousands of candles were burning inside the sanctuary, one for each person that died in Azan. The red candle at the center was for Watani Ashraf. Monsoon gestured towards the candles. Ooh, okay, hang on. As you walked, the noise of the crowds, everyone started to get quiet. Thousands of candles were burning inside the sanctuary. Oh, I was not briefed on what to do here. And I'm afraid of fucking up. There were probably at least 10,000 people. Oh, God. He gestured towards the candles. Oh, fuck, we're over time and I need to make a decision, but I don't know what to do. I genuinely have no idea what to do here. What fucking faux pas am I about to commit? I will screw up regardless of what I do. It is just a fact. I can pick up a candle. I can pick up the red candle. Or I cannot pick up a candle at all, and it will be all the same, all bad. There's a 90% chance I screw up, and doesn't matter what I pick. Fucking hell. Alright, so let's talk this one out. So, I think it comes down to the red candle. I think, because it's important, and I was gestured over here, I think it's important that... Alright, so the red candle, either I need to pick it up to signify that I accept the thing or whatever, the bluish people and their leader or whatever, or I don't pick it up because that would be disrespectful. And I don't know which one. Or I could pick up a normal candle, which would be like a middle ground, but still like disrespectful because I didn't pick up the one he wanted me to pick up. And oh god, this is exactly what I fuck up in real life. This is a literal nightmare. What the fuck do I do? What's the right choice? There was no briefing? Oh, I'm gonna commit a faux pas, and there's nothing I can do. And I'm out of time, also. I have no time to discuss or think about this. We're 2.5 minutes over. Fuck! Fuck! God, this is what this is what having autism feels like every moment you have a conversation with any human on this planet. Chad, do you pick up the normal candle, the red candle, or the not candle? Which one do you do? You don't know. You have no idea. The fuckity fuck. Well, the question is, why would he gesture? Alright, so let me do some context clues here. Why would he gesture to the candles if not for me to pick one up? I hate it. It's wrong. There is no right answer. It's all wrong. Everything is wrong, and I will just... He made the fool. Picked up one of the candles. He picked up the candle for Ashraf and started walking out. Many others followed suit, including us. Oh, I accidentally picked correctly. Oh, thank God. The atmosphere outside had completely changed. The crowd was now completely silent. We slowly walked towards Ashraf's grave. On the way, hundreds of people joined with us. When we arrived, he pointed at a large standing torch above the grave. Oh, fuck, a second one! Leave the candle next to it. I'm going to light it with Monsoon. Hang on, my eye is getting sweaty. Fucking salt and sweat is painful. Hang on. So I'm going to light it together with him as a signal of unity. We are in this together. Light the candle next to it. Light the torch. Light the torch together, Monsoon. And soon. We lit the torch together. I turned around and realized the sheer amount of people who were following us, they were all looking at me, waiting to hear what I would say. Okay. My fellow free people of Bludia. Well, I can't say that one. That would, I believe, send the wrong message. I don't want them to be their own country. I want them to be accepted in this country. My fellow citizens. My headphones are dying. I need to wrap up the scene. We're here to mourn, and many others who lost their lives. We're here to mourn who tragically lost their lives in Azam. We're here to mourn Watani, Ashraf, and many others who have lost their lives. I think I should specify in Azam, because that could be like, oh, you're not really here for our cause, sort of the deal. I'm not standing before you today as the president. I'm standing here as one of you. They're brave men and women who only wanted to protect their land. I condemn the events that led to the deaths of these lives. There were brave men and women who only wanted to protect their land. Despite the attempts to divide us, our people will stand as one. We are sword, we are blued, we are united under one flag. I share your hatred and anger. I feel it too. I assure you, like a red-hot metal, it takes a long time for it to cool down. But I look at the lost lives and think, what would they want? Definitely not. I assure you this administration will do its absolute best now. I mean, yes, but not right now. Not the time or place. Despite what attempts to divide us, our people will stand as one. We are sword, we are blued, we are united under one flag. An old man from the crowd yelled, "He is right!" Let me tell you one thing. I dream of a Sordland, a truly united Sordland, a country where being a blued or a sword does not matter. We were saying before God, remember the words, don't they have a different religion? Must always stay together in the face of adversity against all odds. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you a fucking story already. I dream of a Sordland, a true united Sordland. I feel responsible and ashamed for the actions of my predecessors. Most of all, I feel the desperation to remove the black mark from our history. Let's be a testament of our unity for the future generations. Let's stand together as blued and sword. Mistakes were made in the past. Innocent people of Azam paid the price, but we cannot let this past divide us. I feel responsible and ashamed for the actions of my predecessors. Most of all, I feel the desperation to remove the black mark of our history. Let this be a testament of our unity. For future generations, let's stand together as blued and sword. I need help from each and every one of you to make this country a better place for everyone. The responsibility falls on all our shoulders because we don't have anyone but each other. Oh, that's a good answer. Morning will come. Are you with me? Morning will come. There was no reaction from the crowd, only silence. One soon leaning closer to me. I must admit, Mr. President, that was a good speech. Of the crowd thinks the same. He extended his hand to me for a handshake. Shake his hand. I'm not gonna hug him. This is a serious matter. As we shook hands, the crowd started to clap. Okay. Thank you for this, Mr. President. I don't think the people of Suzerain will ever forget this. You've become the first and only president who was brave enough to come to Suzerain and pay respects for the Azam victims. I hope this will be the start of a new era. Thank you. Lucian rushed near me. Sir, it's time to go. We started making our way back to the convoy. Well done, sir. This will prove very useful in the upcoming elections. What's the rush? No, I'm definitely not going to ask that. Clearly there's a threat and he wants to get me out of here. Time will tell. Lucian bowed his head. We entered our vehicles and started making our way back home from Suzerain. Whew. Okay, let's read the news report and get the hell out of here. Briefing on the current political situation. Radical. Brotherhood of the People. President Rayne surprised the country with his attendance at the Ashraf anniversary. God damn it. He joined the vigil along Monsoon Leak on the day Sordland remembers Watani Ashraf. He has delivered a heartfelt speech that resonated among the people. We hope that his words won't just stay as words. Long live Brotherhood of the People. Yeah, here's the thing, right? Like, I go to the church, I do their thing. I go to the Bluish people, I do their thing. I want women to be educated. I'm quite literally trying to make Sordland better. I don't give a fuck about the other countries, okay? They're a threat, obviously. You know, that's bad, and we need money from them, and that's good. But, like, it's about us. My speech at the beginning was all about making the country the best it could be. Sordland's above everything else. Everyone in Sordland is a sword. Or a blued, or whatever. You're here. You live here, in this land. That means it should be good for you. Home should be where things are fucking awesome. Anyway, that'll be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, in Keywii, remember to yourself a delightful day. I love each and every one of you, and yourself a delightful day. Goodbye.